The purpose of this presentation is to provide students, parents and carers with an overview of learning in the senior phase of Year 11 and 12. We'll endeavour to address key aspects relating to acronyms such as ATAR, QCE, QTAC, QCAA and AARA, and importantly, their relevance to the journey of a senior student. We will briefly touch on the assessment policy and academic integrity, and additionally, an opportunity will be provided to you for clarifying questions following the presentation through the use of a link provided in an email sent earlier today. Underpinning our work with students are the vision and values of the school. Inspiring students to achieve their personal best is at the forefront of our work as leaders and teachers. Each student starts from a different stage and their milestones and distance travelled will differ depending on the individual. Our diverse support team encompasses a senior school principal, deputy principals, heads of year and guidance officers who support the learning and well-being of students in our school. We work closely with parents, carers, students and other support personnel within the broader intrapillar leadership team to ensure quality, differentiated support is provided to students. An ATAR, or Australian Tertiary Admission Rank, is used for the purposes of tertiary admission and is not a measure of worth or a branding on one's head when they complete their senior schooling. This typically represents around 90% of students at Indooroopilly State High School. And in saying this, recent decades has seen an emergence of different ways for you to access post-schooling tertiary pathways, such as Certificate 3-level qualifications and other routes. It's important to note that a QCE or Queensland Certificate of Education is a level of attainment in literacy, numeracy and core learning that all students should aspire to achieve. Each of these will be discussed in more detail later in this presentation. Importantly, the personal growth and enriching experiences offered in and outside of the classroom is what will define your school experience as a student 5-10 years after its completion. Year 11 is important for a range of reasons. The foundation work of Year 10 has cemented students' decisions around the right courses of study in line with potential pathways beyond schooling that they have identified through our set planning process. Over essentially 3 terms, Year 11 students will experience assessment and reporting aligned with Year 12, including A to E results in conjunction with marks for the first time. They will accrue QCE points in each unit, more commonly known as semester, for every C or better result. Students will complete 2 formative internal assessments in Unit 1 and then 1 formative internal assessment in Unit 2. Students will commence their work for Year 12 after they return from the Term 3 exam block in Week 10. By providing students with replica assessment, learning and reporting attributes over the first 3 terms, we are able to maximise the time invested in preparations for Year 12 courses of study, which contribute inevitably to ATAR results. In their final year, students will complete 3 internal assessments and 1 external assessment at the end of the year between October and November. Students will receive an academic profile at the end of each assessment period, and this will be in the form of email communication with an academic profile containing marks and other information. Year 12 assessment results undergo significant rigour in moderation processes to confirm teacher judgments. Externally, the Queensland Curriculum and Assessment Authority ensures that assessment instruments administered by school and the judgments made are valid and reliable through additional processes prior to them being ratified. Our Head of Year 12, Marty Begbie, is now going to speak with you around the Queensland Certificate of Education.
As mentioned earlier, to attain a QCE or a Queensland Certificate of Education, students must meet a number of requirements. Firstly, students need to accrue 20 QCE credits from recognised studies such as QCAA subjects or courses, vocational education and training qualifications, which are often referred to as VET, or some other QCAA recognised studies. To accrue these credits, students must attain a grade of C or better in the units contained in these subjects, demonstrating that they have achieved at an appropriate standard. For Units 1 and 2, this means a satisfactory result in a unit equates to 1 QCE credit. It is possible to get a credit from one of these units for Unit 1 and 2, and not for the other. However, for Units 3 and 4, a satisfactory result must be achieved across the combined 2 units. This means that across Units 3 and 4, a student can only accrue 0 or 2 credits. 1 credit would not be possible. In the case of a VET course or other qualification, successful completion of that course is required. In addition, 12 of the 20 credits must come from completed core courses of study. There are a variety of courses that count towards core, but most notable are QCAA subjects or courses, Certificate 2 courses or greater, extension subjects, and senior external examinations. The remaining credits can come from preparatory or complementary courses of study. Finally, students must meet basic literacy and numeracy requirements by passing 1 unit of maths and 1 unit of English, or completing a literacy or numeracy short course.
Thanks, Marty. I'm Brad Blashak, Deputy Principal for Year 11. Most Indooroopilly State High School students will be working towards achieving an ATAR score. An ATAR can be calculated in one of 3 ways: from the student's 5 best general subject results, from 4 general subject results and 1 applied subject result, or from 4 general subject results and a VET Certificate 3 or higher qualification. It's worth noting that a VET subject will scale differently to a general subject and also to an applied subject. This table gives an overview of what a typical Year 11, Year 12 might look like for a student in some sample subjects. So you can note that all subjects will be marked out of 100 in their final result in Year 12. But along the way, some of the internal assessments, the IA1, 2 and 3, might have different weightings. Students should consider this as they plan their study and revision. At Indooroopilly State High School, feedback is an important way that we support students to achieve their best. Students receive feedback in a number of different ways. Formative feedback is provided through drafts, teacher conferencing, peer-to-peer feedback, and self-assessment. Students can also take advantage of their assessment instruments with the marked ISMGs and student profiles, which give them a sense of how they have performed on criteria after assessment items. Following assessment cycles, students also receive report cards and track ed profiles to provide individual feedback. The track ed profile in particular is able to provide students granular information, for example, at the subject level and criteria level, so that students are able to understand their feedback, performance, and plan for future improvement. Finally, academic conferences and parent-teacher interviews are offered on multiple occasions in Year 11 and 12 in order to provide further support and feedback opportunities for students.
Thank you for sharing the opportunities for feedback that our senior students will encounter, Brad. My name is Alexandra Cochrane and I am the Head of Year 11 in 2025. Another crucial element of senior schooling journey is understanding academic integrity and its alignment to our school values. This includes building trust in our open communication, respecting the effort of others, and most importantly, quality learning, whereby each student is maintaining personal pride in the work that they produce. In Year 11 and 12, students are expected to be independent learners who demonstrate integrity in all academic activities. At the beginning of Year 11, students complete the Academic Integrity course via the QCAA student portal. This course emphasises processes within assessments, including the importance of checkpoints, drafting, and of course, final submission, including student declaration that it is their own authentic work and software to check assessments. Maintaining academic integrity builds not only on credibility as a student, but also their character as a future professional. The Year 11 and 12 Indooroopilly State High School Senior Assessment Policy can be found on our school website and is a document that we encourage students to be familiar with. The policy establishes clear roles for students, parents, and the school around assessment. Our school assessment policy is informed by the QCE and QCIA policy and procedures handbook, and also reinforces processes for students to adhere to, including applying for AARAs. If there are breaches to the assessment policy, students need to be aware that there may be academic and school consequences. As well as the assessment policy, students should be interacting with their assessment planner, which can be found via their One School profile. It is imperative that students are planning for key junctures throughout the year and scheduling their assessments. Ultimately, these policies are designed to support all Year 11 and Year 12 students on their educational pathway.
Hello all, I'm Luke Wallace on behalf of the guidance team, and I'm going to be just discussing AARA, illness and misadventure, and QTAC, or broadly speaking, the university application process. Schools and QCAA recognise that some students experience barriers that have an impact on their academic performance. These could include disability, medical conditions, or difficult circumstances. Access arrangements and reasonable adjustments, otherwise known as AARA, are equity-based provisions that are designed to assist eligible students. The use of AARA for student assessment is based on the functional impact of the condition in which the AARA is being sought. AARA provisions sit across the categories of cognitive, social-emotional, sensory, and physical. These are pre-arranged arrangements or adjustments that are responsive to the impact of the condition. For example, a student with diagnosed ADHD may be eligible to apply for extra time for an exam and the provision to sit the exam in a quieter examination space. Illness and misadventure. Illness and misadventure refers to arrangements or adjustments that students can apply for when their ability to sit for assessment has been impacted by a sudden, unforeseen illness, event, or circumstance, or for the sudden deterioration of an existing condition. For example, if a Year 12 student is unable to sit an external exam due to falling ill, they can apply for illness and misadventure as soon as reasonably possible. If approved, the student's final result in this subject will be calculated from internal assessment results, as there is only one opportunity to sit an external exam. In summary, AARA are adjustments that are approved based on predicted barriers. Illness and misadventure is an application for adjustments that can be made based on unforeseen circumstances. QTAC, or the Queensland Tertiary Admissions Centre. Traditionally, the majority of students who graduate from Indooroopilly State High School will apply for a university program of study in the latter half of Year 12. While there are many paths to university, this process often starts in Year 10 when students make careful subject selections. Some university programs require subject prerequisites to be met as part of the entry criteria. Overwhelmingly, we encourage students to choose subjects that they will enjoy and likely to succeed in. While the ATAR rank is the main metric used for university admissions in Queensland and across Australia, there are other measures that can be used, including IB scores for IB students and ranks that are derived from completed vocational studies at a Certificate 3 level or higher. Eligible students can also boost their university admission rank through adjustment factors such as subject adjustment schemes and the Educational Access Scheme. Students can check out the Educational Access Scheme categories on the QTAC website or come and speak with one of the guidance officers to see if they would be eligible for these schemes as part of their university application. Through this year, guidance officers will send regular information out to students about career opportunities, career events or open days for universities, TAFE or other institutions, UCAT information for students pursuing a career in medicine or dentistry, or university representative visits to the school, etc. Each year, QTAC and other tertiary admission centres around Australia will open the application portal in August for Semester 1 courses the following year. At this time, Year 12 students will receive a QTAC course guide and will attend a presentation during one of their Connect lessons in which they will be shown exactly how to make their university application. This information will also be provided in a brochure and will be shared with parents and caregivers. For any questions regarding university applications or career pathways, students are encouraged to make an appointment with the year level guidance officer. And I'm going to hand back to Ross Muir to close this information session.
Thank you, Luke, and thank you for all of our support, Deputy Principals, Heads of Year, for the information presented today. We do hope that it was informative and that it was able to provide you with a strong outline of some of the really key and salient features of the senior phase of learning. Really want to return to some of those key points that I outlined at the beginning. An ATAR or a tertiary rank is used for a measure for tertiary admission. It's not a measure of worth, and students will go on a different journey throughout their senior phase, and whether they access university pathways and choose courses of study to help influence that outcome, or whether they have a blend of applied or VET subjects, or maybe even an international baccalaureate pathway. There are so many options and choices and a breadth of opportunities here at Indooroopilly, and we certainly want students to get every part of that experience in a fulsome way. ATAR is more than, your school experience is more than just a number, and we do encourage our students and provide significant support around the QCE, where we really do want students to achieve and have that level of attainment before they finish their schooling at Indooroopilly High School. As outlined at the beginning, we have sent through an email with a link for you to just ask any further clarifying questions that you may have in regards to some of the content that we've covered today. We recognise there's quite a significant amount of information and would like to provide an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you may have as students or parents or carers, and we'll endeavour to get back to you in a timely way in relation to that. So thank you for your time. And appreciate your attention today.